Hi, I'm Jessica York. This is a video presentation for Dynamic Youth Ministry. The topic this week is bridging the lifespan. When it was suggested that I might do a video presentation, I wanted to make sure that it didn't cover the same material as the essay that I submitted for the week, which gives practical advice for strengthening the multi-generational community. I decided to focus on storytelling in this video, because I believe storytelling is one of our greatest tools in crossing cultural barriers, and multi-generational work is also multicultural work. If our faith communities become more welcoming to all ages, they might also grow in their capacity to welcome people across different cultural barriers. A little bit about me. I came to Unitarian Universalism in 1997 as an adult. In my home congregation of Birmingham, Alabama, where I still am a member, I served on the coffee committee. I taught religious education classes. I chaired the worship partners. And for 6 years, I was director of religious education. Currently, I serve as the youth programs director at the Unitarian Universalist Association in the Resource Development Office, Ministries, and Faith Development Staff Group. I'd like to ask you to take just a moment and think about your youth. Were you a member of a faith community in your youth? What was that like? Did you feel as if you belonged to the group, the community, and the community belonged to you? Did you feel as if you were important and your ideas and beliefs were welcomed and heard? Did you have friendships with non-familial adults? Relationships with children in the congregation? What memories do you have of being part of a multi-generational community, doing things together, acting as one? If you did not belong to a faith community during your youth, think about another group that you may have belonged to. During my adolescence, I attended a Catholic church. We worshiped together every Sunday and on other holy days. There were church activities where all ages were welcomed, and my confirmation was held during a worship service where the full community was invited to attend. I attended private confirmation classes with my sister in the chambers of Father Mike, the young minister, who was available not only during that time but at other times also to answer my questions about religious matters and discuss how those answers to those questions related to my life. I felt important, and I felt as a welcomed member of the community. In my latter high school years, I indulged my passion for theater by belonging to a community theater guild. I was one of only 2 youths who worked with the theater guild, and I was the only African American, but my belonging to the group was never really in doubt. It was, however, not a perfect experience. On the positive side, I was mentored by a couple of elders on the technical side of theater. I started off in props design and moved into assistant stage managing. Years later, I would actually make my living as a stage manager, so the mentoring of these adults played an important part in my life. Yet, on the negative side, I wanted very much to act, but the Theater Guild never offered plays that had roles for young women that I could audition for. The one time the Guild produced a play with a role for young women, I was prevented from auditioning because the musical was part of their repertoire they were taking to a festival in Europe, and the Theater Guild couldn't afford to pay for the insurance coverage and the other safety measures for taking a youth along. As a youth, I was not involved in the decision-making process of which plays were offered each season, so my voice was not heard in that way. My brother is a Baptist minister. When I visit his church, I'm immersed in a multi-generational community. When toddlers get antsy, there are other adults and youth to reach out their arms to give parents a caretaking break. The children's choir may sing on a particular Sunday, or the dance ministry, which is composed of different genders and many ages, may perform a praise dance. Both my 13-year-old niece and my 52-year-old sister are ushers, and my young adult nephew has worked in the audiovisual department, making sure that everyone can hear the service that's being given. These are a few of my stories about being in multi-generational community. What are yours? What are the challenges? What are the joys? When were you made to feel important and welcomed? I invite you over the next week to share your stories. Share them with others in your class. Share them with others in your faith communities. Perhaps journal about them. Storytelling is a great way to collect out various truths. One thing I think will become obvious when these stories are shared is that there's not just one way to create multi-generational community. If what you try initially does not succeed, try something else. Don't forget to ask your allies, youth, yes, but also elders and young adults and children and families and other religious professionals. Ask them for their ideas and their stories. Multi-generational community does not just simply serve multiple ages. It invites all ages and stages to join together to envision and plan and play leading roles in building a world where all are respected and all are heard. May it be so.